I want to talk about something that I think is like actually really important, and I'm surprised this hasn't happened yet. It's it's honestly a little bit shocking that we've let it get this bad, and that it's been going on for like I don't know how many years at this point, probably like 2 decades or something. But pretty much it's privacy policies and terms and conditions. Nobody reads that shit, right? I don't think anybody in their right mind has ever actually read any of those like 20-page checklists of how bad they're going to sell your data. Everybody just clicks agree, right? And it's designed to be like that. They know you're not going to read it. So they take advantage of that. And that's horrible. You know? Why does my weather app need to track my heartbeat, for example? Just that kind of thing, right? So I feel like if people actually knew what was inside terms and conditions and privacy policies and stuff like that before like accepting it and using the thing, they probably wouldn't use the thing. I don't have specific examples, I don't think, but just in general, like we shouldn't have that many people misinformed or like uninformed at all. Like people that are literally completely left in the dark about what this service or product they're using is like stealing about them and selling to other people. And that's not good. That's bad. It shouldn't be like that. And obviously the defense is just like, oh well, it's written plainly in the terms and conditions. It's written in the privacy policy. You should have read it yourself. But that's not. I don't think that's fair at all. I don't think it's fair at all to assume or not to assume because they know you're not going to read it. But I don't think it's fair at all to just remove all of the blame from the companies for even wanting to have this data in the first place just by saying you're the one who accepted it. I wrote it clearly in terms and conditions. I think that should be illegal. I think everybody knows that that's such a big chore. All you want to do is use all you want to do is use Instagram. All you want to do is use Snapchat. All you want to do is I don't know. All you want to do is use a VPN or something, and then you have this huge, or even nowadays, all you want to do is play a video game, and you have this huge list of things that you're expected to read, and then everybody just clicks agree anyway. It's dumb. You shouldn't be expected to read that, and obviously you're not. The companies are banking on the fact that you're not going to read it, but it shouldn't exist at all. There should be a completely different message. Like there should be a completely different way of going about this. Personally, I think apps, products, services, and stuff like that shouldn't even be allowed to collect any data or any information about you that's not directly used by the service itself. Like, obviously, your weather app might need to know your location to give you the most accurate weather. That makes sense, but that's all it should need. Right? And in most cases it is like that, but sometimes there could be some bad actors that try to get away with as much as possible. That should be illegal. That should be prosecuted, and it shouldn't be this big vague thing where like, oh well, it's legal because I put it inside the terms and conditions, like you should have read it. It shouldn't be like that. It should not be like that. There should be this big rigorous thing where every single time you try to, start selling a service or anything, and you try making it would need to be revised entirely, but there should be like a review team where whenever you try making a privacy policy or whatever the next generation of that may be, it gets reviewed. And it's a really long and arduous process where it's like incredibly strict, and if you have anything that's even suspected of being malicious or foul play or anything like that, you get completely red flagged and you have to change everything, and it's a big ass process. That's how it should be. It shouldn't be this thing where you can make anything you want and it can have as much data collection and all that stuff as you want, and it's technically okay because it's just written in the fine print in this 30-foot long document, just smack dab in the middle with a bunch of long words nobody's ever used since the 4th century. Right? It shouldn't be like that. It absolutely should not be like that. I really do think there needs to be a better way to tell people, first of all, what's inside these terms and conditions and not expecting them to read it. Like, even if there was like a mandatory video or something that you had to make that explained every single category, or literally anything that's more clear than a long, super, like, mumbo jumbo list of a bunch of different stuff, and then sprinkled in there every once in a while, they'll be like, we track your heartbeat. And then it's like, no, a bunch of normal stuff, and it's like something incredibly bad, and it's just hidden in there. It shouldn't be like that at all. There should be a way clearer way of demonstrating what's actually, like, what you actually take and what you actually use and what you actually need and whatnot. Also, there should be ways to turn off specific things, right? Like, if I want to use Instagram, okay, I don't know if you've ever seen how long the terms and conditions for Instagram is. It's so long. It's like I think it's like the longest terms and conditions or privacy policy, whatever, like, ever written. It's like, I don't know how many pages or what, but it's incredibly long. And you need to agree to all of it to use the service. You can't agree to certain things and disagree to other things to use it. You need to say yes to everything. And not only that, nobody freaking reads them in the first place, so it doesn't matter. But even if there was just a way to agree to certain things, like the mandatory things only, that would be such a good step in the right direction. Okay? If there was a way to agree to, like, none of it, or if there was a different way where it was illegal for the companies to take any of the data in the first place, that would be even better, obviously. But even just a way to turn off specific things that you don't like, and then agreeing to other things, whatever, that are like mandatory or whatnot, that'd be okay. But you need to agree to everything. That's dumb. It should not work like that. This is such an ancient, unupdated system, and companies and services and everything are taken as most advantage as possible because it makes the most money. Like, human beings make so much data, and companies take advantage of, putting a bunch of data collections in every single freaking service ever to collect all that data and then sell it to advertisers, which then advertise to you, and then, they know more about you than you know about yourself. And then whenever, first of all, that in its own right is creepy as fuck, and that shouldn't even exist. But one thing at a time. Privacy policies are incredibly outdated. It's like genuinely barbaric. Nobody should be expected to read a 30-page long document and agree to every single part of it just to use a service. It's dumb. It's incredibly outdated. I don't have a solution for a better version, which really sucks because I'm just complaining about something. I'm not providing a better option. I'm not providing a better alternative. But I really think anything else would be better. Anything that's not a really long list of like 30 pages of a bunch of nonsense. You have to read through everything and agree to all of it. Anything's better than that. Yeah. I think it should be illegal to even collect any unnecessary data at all and sell it back to other things. That should not be a real thing at all. That's like, especially knowing that like 95% of the people who agreed to that didn't actually agree because they didn't actually read it. Like, it should be illegal. Even another way to make this better is if they actually made sure you read it. Like, if there was like a quiz at the end of it or something, which they absolutely do not want that, because then they know nobody would actually do it, right? That's why it's so easy. That's why it's just agree. That's why you don't need to read anything and you can still use the product. They take advantage of that, right? But even if there was like a quiz at the end that forced you to read everything and answer correct questions, that would be better. That would be better, because at least you would know what you're signing up for. But, like I said, obviously they don't want that because they don't want you to read it in the first place. So that, But anyway, it shouldn't exist at all. In my opinion. I think there's much better ways to go about this. We shouldn't need to be going over these huge hurdles of reading, 30-page long documents for every single service we use ever, and then it's like, also like, and needing to agree to everything to use it is so dumb. I'm just repeating my point at this point, but it's horrible. And I really think nobody, or like most people, wouldn't use these services if they actually knew what they were signing up for and they actually knew what they were agreeing to. So, yeah. Those are my thoughts. I really hope something changes, and I know I didn't really provide a solution, but I just wanted to talk about this. I just wanted to bring more attention to this because this is something I've been thinking about for quite a while, and I really do think something needs to change because this is not a world I want to live in where everything is trying to collect my data and everybody's uninformed about what's actually going on and what they're actually agreeing to. That's horrible. I don't like that at all. So those are my thoughts. Yeah, bro fist.